There are 4 major forces changing Amazon right now, and whether you're a business owner trying to grow your Amazon sales or a solopreneur trying to learn how to launch on Amazon, you need to watch this video because these forces are shifting the way top 1% sellers are marketing on Amazon. But others are being left behind because they're wondering why Amazon is no longer working for them the way it used to. Because after working with some of the biggest brands on the platform, I see too many sellers that are stuck because they don't even know that these forces are at work. And that could be the reason you're waking up to no new sales. So I want to give you the tricks to take advantage of these massive forces. But let me first start by saying one of the most negative statements I've ever made. Mistrust is on the rise. With algorithm changes and spammers and impersonators around every corner, the internet is quickly becoming a haunt of fake influencers and deep fake videos to the point that you may even question if your grandma's Facebook is even real. In fact, in a recent study, 69% of all shoppers said that they distrust brand advertising, and it's a growing problem too, as 43% say that they distrust advertising more now than they ever used to. So consumer trust is at an all-time low. But that's where things get interesting on Amazon, because a recent survey by Georgetown University and NYU found that Amazon is the second most trusted institution in the United States behind the military. And that's nuts. But you're saying, hey Sean, yeah, but aren't new platforms like Temu and growing ones like TikTok taking a bite out of Amazon's trust? Well, not as much as you might think. A survey by OmniSend found that 86% of US customers trust Amazon, while only 6% trust Temu. However, mentioning TikTok does bring up an interesting point, because while Amazon will continue to dominate online sales, the way we sell on Amazon won't ever be the same. And I'll talk about that more in just a minute. But first, let's talk about the second major force that's completely changing the game on Amazon. Linear buying on Amazon is dead. Listen guys, Amazon used to be pretty darn simple, right? It looked a little something like this. A person pops a keyword into the search bar, then the person goes and buys, or they don't buy. That was pretty much it. And this has become the backbone of traditional Amazon sales, and also even paid attraction. You find some of those great keywords, you set up your listing for those keywords, and you set up ads for those keywords. You measure the results, and if you made more money than you spent, awesome. You're doing a good job on Amazon. And what's great about that is you can pretty much track every single action, which is far better than in the olden days of selling on print ads or with TV ads, where it was really just a guess at the number of impressions, then seeing the number of purchases and trying to make sense of it all, right? Except today, Amazon has totally changed again. Now, don't get me wrong, this sort of direct response focus from SEO or paid ads is still used all of the time. And I still use this process on my clients' accounts that will drive $100 million in Amazon sales this year. But what's different is that customers are no longer moving linearly from search or from an ad to the product page and then to the cart in a short time window. Instead, customers interact with brands across multiple touch points before purchasing. Now, while it has widely been accepted marketing wisdom that it takes 7 to 8 touch points to make a sale, recent research suggests that the actual number of touch points before a sale varies massively, depending on where the prospect is on their buying journey and the product's price. In fact, the average shopper now has up to 37 ways to interact on Amazon before they make a purchase on the platform. They might click a static ad, right? That's touch point number 1. They may click on a video that's playing at the top of the search results, and that's touch point number 2. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they buy yet. Then maybe they click on an Amazon post, right? That's touch point number 3. And they might click on your ad that's placed on your competitor's listing. That's touch point number 4. They might click on your product from an influencer's Amazon storefront, and that's touch point number 5. They might click on your product that was added in a comparison table on another listing. That's touch point number 6. They might find you in the frequently bought with section on a competitor's listing. That's touch point number 7. They might even, well, you get the picture. These are all possible touch points that you can leverage to your advantage. And when you weigh it all out, you can have up to 37 unique paths that lead to a purchase on Amazon. But sadly, most Amazon sellers only know about 2 or 3 of these pathways. And that doesn't even include what you can do off of the Amazon platform. This means that the actual number of touch points is likely way higher when you consider that people are interacting with social media channels where there are no clicks tracked, which if you think about it is basically the way social media is. You're hardly ever clicking. And this describes something that is known as the messy middle. In his best-selling book, Chief Product Officer at Adobe, Scott Belsky, gave us an idea of the space of abundant information and unlimited choices that causes struggle when things don't go as planned. And Google took this concept and did a recent study called Making Sense of the Messy Middle. Google noted that between the first touch point and the final sale, there is a confusing web of touch points that we liken to spaghetti. And business owners are like, hey, what do I do? How do I navigate this messy middle? Because it really doesn't fit into the traditional way that Amazon once worked. And Google discovered that this messy middle created a gap into which all sorts of valuable customer behavior goes unrecognized and underserved. So that's not good news, right? I mean, we know this gap exists, but the problem is that it's becoming harder and harder to track Amazon initiatives in this messy middle. It's like a web of crazy touch points, which means that as business builders, our job just got a little bit harder. Because if we can't track what's in that messy middle, then we can't make sense of it. And how do we know if our Amazon marketing is actually good or bad? But what we do know is that Amazon sales are now absolutely no longer linear. And if you're focusing all of your efforts on that old, outdated, linear way of Amazon thinking, then you're leaving a lot of money on the table because you're ignoring how your shoppers act during the most crucial parts of their buying journey. And this leads me to number 3. People are taking longer to buy, especially while they're in that messy middle. They're exploring and evaluating their options. And this gets even more interesting when you sell at premium prices, which is really critical to selling profitably on Amazon. Because a recent study by McKinsey highlights that purchases of expensive products, such as consumer durables, often follows a multi-stage decision journey. This process typically includes the cycles of awareness, consideration, and validation where potential buyers evaluate their options before committing to a purchase. But each stage requires tailored Amazon strategies to address those concerns. Because right now, shoppers of premium priced goods are taking up to 9 days longer on average to make a purchase than they did just a decade ago. Which begs the question, what are they doing in those extra 9 days? Well, they're waiting and they're watching and they are evaluating their options. And that's because the internet has transformed from a tool for comparing prices to now where they are actually comparing literally everything. So now it takes time and repeated exposure to go through that know, like, and trust cycle. But that does not mean you should throw in the towel. All it means is that those who are focused on the big picture will come out ahead. Which leads me to number 4. Social search is affecting Amazon sales, but not how you quite think. There's no denying that Amazon search is still the dominant way to find products, but social search is growing in popularity in a big way, with 24% of consumers turning to social for answers to their questions. And a massive 46% of Gen Zers are using social as their primary search engine. So if you're only relying on Amazon search or on Amazon PPC to drive shoppers to your Amazon listing, you're massively missing out. Because not only are you missing all of those messy middle opportunities where people are looking to you to get to know, to like, and trust you, but you're also totally ignoring the huge number of people who could discover you for the very first time through social media traffic. But you're saying, Sean, with these forces shifting the Amazon landscape, how can I leverage these trends to grow my business and make more sales? I'm glad you asked. The solution is to leverage social media traffic for your Amazon sales. But does this mean that we should be jumping onto TikTok and start dancing? Maybe, but there are other options, and some pretty powerful ones too. And they're all available inside of Amazon. But most sellers don't even know that these exist. So I'm just gonna go ahead and lay those out for you. But before I give you those, if you like this video or any of my videos, click that subscribe button because I love giving away free value here, and seeing that subscriber number go up is like a little shot of encouragement to me. And if you wanna see more videos like this, click that notification bell and you'll get the latest Amazon growth hacks while they're still piping hot, like this one. Because while TikTok is indeed growing, it's not even close to what Amazon has for shopping traffic from people who actually have their credit cards stored in Amazon ready to buy. But that doesn't mean that we should ignore TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or Facebook or any other social media for that matter. But it does mean that you can take advantage of the influencers and the brands that are spending hours creating content and spending millions to tap into social media ads. You can just piggyback off of their hard work in two ways. The first one, super easy. You can use a very little known program inside of Amazon that lets you actually incentivize influencers to promote your products on their platform. This program can be used on YouTube, on Insta, Facebook, Snap, and yes, on TikTok or any other platform that you desire. It works by giving influencers a unique Amazon storefront to showcase products that they recommend. These influencers earn commissions on the sales made through their personalized storefront. It's a win-win. Influencers get paid and you get exposure to their audience. And best of all, it's all within Amazon. So you can use Amazon's reporting tools to track the performance of your influencer partnerships. This data will help you to optimize your strategy and identify your most successful collaborations. And it will help make sense of that messy middle. This is called the Amazon Influencer Program. But there's one downside. You really need to reach out to influencers and get them on board with promoting your products. And that can be a real hassle. But what if I told you there was a way to take advantage of social media traffic without setting up affiliate links, without pitching to promoters or anything like that? Well, there is. Because there's a very important part of the Amazon puzzle that 99% of Amazon sellers will never know about. And it could be the reason that you're waking up to skyrocketing ad spend without any new sales. Because right now, as we speak, Amazon sellers are already working on all the social media platforms, creating gobs of content and paying influencers to drive millions of shoppers to Amazon daily. When this happens, it causes a little traffic vortex where shoppers actually bypass the old linear buying process. This traffic vortex never sees an Amazon ad. They never actually type anything into that search bar. They just show up on an Amazon product page and buy. Which means that if you can tap into a traffic vortex that is being driven from social media, you can actually bypass that keyword by keyword bloodbath. And the good news is it means that you don't have to post every single day all over the place. I mean, you can if you want to, but using this method means that that's not necessarily where you're going to make your money directly. Nope, your money will be made primarily by piggybacking off of a traffic vortex. And all it takes is one good vortex to change your traffic exponentially. In fact, using tricks like this to drive traffic are part of what will drive upward of $100 million in Amazon sales for my clients this year. Because while last year, 56% of US adults started their product search on Amazon, a survey released from Jungle Scout said that traffic is down from 63% the previous year. So this shift towards social search is really affecting search on Amazon right now. And that's why techniques like what I'm about to show you are actually becoming more critical to finding success on Amazon this year. Luckily, the trick is easy. Simply find one of those vortexes in your niche. Find where social media is being used to drive traffic directly to an Amazon product page. Then simply grab that ASIN. That's this little alphanumeric code right here. Place it into a manual ad campaign, set up product targeting, and boom, you just set up shop right here on the spot where all of that social media traffic is landing. But I will say it again, and I will say it 1,000 times over. It's not social versus Amazon. It's social and Amazon. However, there is one area that I see sellers messing up all the time that will trip you up with this new traffic that you just siphoned from social media. And that's getting all those shoppers onto your listing and then not converting them into buyers. When that happens, Amazon will actually remove your ads from those high value listings and your traffic surge will turn into a traffic whimper. And that's why I created this playlist right here to help you make more sales on Amazon. So click that now, and I'm going to show you how easy it all can be.